Good morning, YouTube. It's going down. Chilling. Having coffee this morning. I don't usually drink coffee hardly anymore. Mostly just water and tea in the morning primarily. And the main reason why I cut back on all the sugars and the caffeine and all that is it just kind of brings you down and doesn't make you feel like yourself, you know? I say the acidity level for coffee is like 3, like pH. And what they're saying is certain things, it raises the acidity level in your body versus being more alkaline. I say that even just having 1 cup of coffee in a week, it takes a minimum 7 days for your pH levels to bounce back and balance, which right around 7.2, 7.4, I think, is average balanced pH for the body. Nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? But for me, like every, I don't know, few months, I'll have a cup of coffee just as like a treat. But even then, I don't really want the caffeine anymore, so decaf, whatever. Still tastes like coffee. Put a few sugars in it, though. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where obviously the older I get, the more that I think about all these things, and I realize that, you know, I'm not going to be perfect all the time, but I want to be intentional about my life, and I want to make better decisions because I know what's best. You know, right or wrong, forget it. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of doing what's best, right, for you. And the older that we get, obviously, you know, it's something that we all need to start taking more into consideration. You know, when we were little, they used to say, well, you are what you eat. Yeah, pretty much. And you notice, depending on what you eat, makes all the difference in how you feel. Cognitive brain function or, you know, brain fog. You know, if you're eating fast food and eating processed foods and frozen stuff and just boxed stuff, anything that's processed in a box, right? You're not going to feel like yourself. Your energy levels are going to be low. You're going to feel lethargic, you know. One of the things that I do is I try to make myself eat more fruit. So I'll start my day out with an apple. You know, an apple, have an orange or banana later on in the day. You know, they say, doctors say you're supposed to eat at least 3 to 5 fruits and vegetables a day. It sounds like a lot, but it's not really. It's just a matter of just really just making the effort to do that, you know? Yeah. But I've been trying to take more walks. I try to walk every day, whether it's in the morning or at night when it cools off. Right now, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and so yeah, it's a good time to take a walk before the midday heat hits us in the Valley of the Sun here. But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of share those thoughts. There was a doctor that I was listening to on the Kent Hovind podcast. He's a Christian preacher who has all types of different speakers on his channels, and it's kind of one of those things where somebody doesn't necessarily maybe tell you something you don't know always, but they remind you of what you do know. And sometimes all of us need to be reminded of certain things and kind of just, you know, put it in perspective and just, you know, realize it's one day at a time. But I think it all starts with awareness, right? And just owning it and saying, you know what? Yeah, there are some changes I can make to make my life healthier. And yeah, there's a couple that I'm struggling with, but it really comes back to just making a decision, right? Mind over matter. It's like the Bible says, there's a scripture, it says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. It means that everything that's good, it's like your body is fighting you on it, you know? It's just that internal tug of war, that battle. And sometimes we got to override those temptations and desires and cravings that we have. Like for me, like I could eat, junk food and sweets every night. I mean, I could eat cheeseburgers and Popeye's fried chicken. Like I could do that every day if my body would allow it. But as I'm older now, I can't be eating like that all the time. I can have, some stuff once in a while, but I notice the difference, of how I feel when I do eat things that I probably shouldn't. So I try to remind myself to like eat more chicken, higher protein, less fat, good stuff, spinach, broccoli, anything superfoods, any type of super greens, kale. You mix in, kale's a little bit sour when it's raw, but if you mix it with like some spinach leaves and some mixed romaine lettuce, some dressing, some vinegar and olive oil, or whatever your preferred dressing is, I mean, you barely even really taste it, but your body, this freaking bug over here, it's one of those things that really makes a huge difference in just how you feel. And I mean, the reason I don't buy all the junk food now is because if I buy it, I'll freaking eat it. If I buy a box of Oreos or Cheez-Its or a bag of Doritos or whatever, like I will be tempted to eat it, maybe not in one sitting, but my body doesn't really want that. My taste buds craving sometime might be like, oh, I want that. But then when I eat it, I'm like, I didn't want that. Why did I eat that? Like I said, I mean, depending on what you eat, just be aware of it. Like everything that you eat today, everything you eat this weekend, just kind of keep a mental, log of it, and just think like everything that I eat, let me really be aware of like how I feel when I'm eating this stuff. And as time goes on, you'll start to realize that, I feel better when I eat better. So I'm going to start to do that and cut down the snacking and make like snacking more of kind of like a treat, And the truth of the matter is it's not easy. Like I said, it's not easy, but you kind of just start one at a time and start cutting things out of your life little by little that are bad for you. And then you just every day try to remind yourself to do little things, which is like, for example, start eating fruit every morning on an empty stomach. The fiber from apples is a balanced fiber. Helps to push everything through your digestive system and keep everything running smoothly. So it's just a couple few simple things that you can do. Berries, anything that's high in antioxidants. Raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, very high in antioxidants. So many things that really help. And since my mom was dealing with cancer years back, and she, for a few years, was doing great. I was helping her in every way that I could, from managing her diet and lifestyle to cutting out dairy products, cutting back on the sugar and the salty stuff and all that. But CBD oil was a huge factor in that. And CBD, out of the cannabis plant, there's over 100 compounds in cannabis. CBD is the non-psychoactive compound in the plant. It does not intoxicate you. That would be the THC compound. So CBD, think of it as like the vitamin C times 10, times 20. To picture CBD oil as the most important vegetable that you've never had. Think of it like that, and think of it like your body is deficient of this nutrient that it needs and activates what's called the endocannabinoid system in the body. Think of the endocannabinoid system as what scientists now know is like a second immune system. It's like, say if your immune system was the Army, the endocannabinoid system would be like the Navy SEALs strike team, or like Delta Force, And it activates this system. Scientists now know we have these, what they call CB receptors all over our body, heart, our liver, our lungs, our kidneys, all over our body. The one in the brain they call the CB1 receptor. The one in our digestive system they call the CB2 receptor. So huge immune system booster, very high in antioxidants, huge anti-inflammatory properties. And now with actually all the, as I've gotten older now from past injuries and bones that I broke, it makes a huge difference in how you feel just taking, a couple drops of CBD oil on your tongue in the morning and in the afternoon or at night. I mean, you can take it 2-3 times a day. There's really no such thing as taking too much of it. You can't overdose on it. It's not like medication. It'd be like saying you can overdose by eating too much broccoli, So yeah, there's just a few things that I just wanted to kind of share with y'all, just to share my thoughts and remind y'all that it's really all just a work in progress. It's one at a time, but we've got to be intentional about it. And like I said, mentioning the CBD oil, I would recommend that everybody would look up the CBD oil. There's some brands that I can recommend. I don't really want to recommend brands. I'd rather other people just do their research and then they can get back to me and say, oh, I heard about this and that. What do you think? The company that I used out of California was called CV Sciences, Charles Victor Sciences, abbreviated CV Sciences. The other one is the Charlotte's Web strand from the Stanley Brothers in Colorado. They make a really potent, reliable organic brand of CBD oil. And Lazarus oil is one that you can get at like the smoke shops. So I mean, you can purchase it online. They'll deliver it to your house. It's legal in all 50 states. And like I said, it's not marijuana. It's CBD oil is the most important part of the cannabis plant. And the beauty is we live in a society now, in a generation where they've discovered all the benefits to human health and its value when they've been able to isolate the compound and concentrate it. And now we live in a society where they have been able to do this, and we are able to reap the benefits of it, which is amazing. You go back 100 years in the pharmaceutical industry, and you can see that cannabis was used in most of the medicines. Now it's all synthetics and chemicals, and a list of chemical names that you and I can't even pronounce. It's insane. Hope this is inspiring someone. I hope that y'all can, start to take steps and whatever to improving your health, and little by little. I mean, I don't mean to be a hypocrite. Like I said, I still got my faults, but I wanted to put it out there to just educate, inspire, and let people know that, we all have our cravings and a taste for certain things. But there's nothing wrong with having munchies once in a while. We just got to keep it in moderation, But lots of water, keeping your electrolytes and your sodium levels balanced with a lot of water. Out here in Arizona, obviously, we drink a lot of water, especially in the summertime. Most of the people I know drink a half gallon to a gallon of water a day on average, sometimes even more than a gallon of water. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned for more videos. I'm always going to keep it diversified and, talk about a little bit of everything on my channel, and that's what it's all about. There's no necessarily any rules or, political correctness. It's just anything that I think is worthwhile and worth talking about, we're going to talk about. So I appreciate y'all. Check y'all later. Y'all have a good day, and stay tuned for more videos on United USA 2020.